I just want to share with you how Godot enables this behavior. So a big part of why I got into game dev is because I find it really hard to sleep at night. Hey, call me a night owl, a workaholic, or an insomniac, whatever. They're just labels, right? But the fact remains that when I get an idea for a game jam, I just can't stop. I mean, most of the time the idea is either too ambitious or sounds really good in my head, but trying to make it a part of my game, well, that's where the sleep deprivation kicks in. And you know what? By the end of this video, I'll just leave it up to you to decide. Is Godot a prototyping powerhouse? I really love YouTube, game dev, and gaming. And don't try to make me choose, because that's another thing I'll lose sleep over. YouTube has an answer for everything. I mean, nobody asked us how to shave a cat, but you know what? Some kind soul made a video about it. And it's because of these dedicated content creators that I'm able to fuel my passion for game dev. Godot's open source community on YouTube is able and ready, providing a wealth of tutorials and support. Whether you're a beginner like me or a seasoned game developer, tapping into Godot's open source community can provide valuable insights and inspiration during a game jam. I made a game about Jerry. He needs to help Santa collect all the gifts that had fallen out of Santa's sled before the time runs out, all the while avoiding imposter clauses and traversing challenging platforming. Well, at least that's what I was going for. I was able to put together a prototype in just about 4 hours. I used tutorials made by Coco Code, Coding Quest, Hard Piece, Game Dev Night, and iCode, just to name a few. But it's important to remember, while tutorials are a great place to start, you'll need to be able to adapt them to fit your game idea. And also, keep in mind, you're not going to make the next fully optimized smash hit with perfect physics that runs at 300 FPS by watching a bunch of tutorials. So you may have to tame your expectations. Let go of perfection, and remember, not every game needs to be a masterpiece. Sometimes the wonky ones steal hearts, induce laughter, or frustration like the second stage of my game. It all depends on what you're going for. Coco Code has a really great tutorial series for making your first game and leveling up. I was able to use his idea to make my own game. One thing that he shows in the video that I really liked was how to switch scenes at the end of a level by reaching a goal. I was able to take that idea, combine it with another idea from one of Coding Quest's tutorials, and apply it to my game by switching scenes after all the pickups were collected in a scene. But later I scrapped that idea and switched scenes once all the packages were delivered to Santa's sled. You see, the ideas that you put down on paper are not written in stone. As you progress, you may want to change things to add new features to improve your game. The Godot community is a fantastic resource waiting for you. Why not share some of your experiences in the comments below? I was going to mention that Godot has a user-friendly interface, but you probably already know that by now, and I guess that is a bit too subjective. So instead, I'll mention Godot's powerful node system. Godot's node system allows me to prototype and iterate at lightning speed. How can I go to sleep when Godot makes it so easy for me to keep working? With a simple drag and drop or a quick search, I can experiment and refine my game mechanics on the fly. I mean, there's a node for everything, and the kitchen sink. In the game I made, a big part of it runs on a timer, and I was able to easily set it up using a timer node. Pickups were easy to set up using an area 2D node and a collision shape 2D node. And also, player animations are super easy to set up using the animated sprite 2D node. Another really powerful node is the animation player node. The possibilities here are endless, and I can dedicate an entire video to the animation player node alone. Godot nodes are awesome, but I must admit, they do take a little getting used to, but once you understand how they work, there's nothing you can't create. Speaking of nodes, let's focus on the character body 2D node. As the name suggests, it's designed for crafting characters with physics-based movement. What's even more impressive is that it includes a pre-built example script, specifically tailored for managing fundamental player movements in a platforming situation. With this handy feature, swiftly prototyping player and enemy movements as well as their interactions become an effortless task. There's no way I can sleep now. I got my character up and running and jumping in no time flat. All I need to do now is tweak it a little. I mean, your mileage may vary depending on the game you're trying to create, but at the very least, it provides a good starting point. I use this to build the character for my game. Now, the script is seriously lacking advanced physics, but for a game jam game or prototyping, it's perfect. I just added code to handle animations and sound, did a little tweaking, and that was it. Let's check out how easily we can add basic player movement with the built-in example script. Let's create a Santa character. First, we add an empty node for our level, Then we add a tile map for the ground, and in the inspector, we add a new tile set and adjust the tile size to match the size of our tile. In my case, it's 128 by 128 pixels. Next, we drag the tile we want into the tileset box to create a tileset source. With that done, we set the texture region size to 128 by 128 pixels and add a physics layer to our tile. Then we draw out our level. That was a hard part. Now we create our character using a character body 2D node, a collision 2D node, and a sprite 2D node. Then we drag the Santa sprite into the texture field of the sprite 2D in the inspector. Adjust the size of the collision shape to fit the sprite. And now the fun part. Just add a script to the character body 2D node and use the character body 2D basics movement script. Adjust the jump velocity, and that's it. The script uses the spacebar to jump and the arrow keys to move left and right. See? What did I tell you? Easy peasy, right? Godot Signals is another really powerful tool. The Godot Signal system allows you to easily link different parts of your game scripts with other parts of your game. I use this to connect my menu buttons to load different levels. I also use it to add time to the counter timer when the player entered the area 2D node of Santa's sled, and to reset the gifts collected and gifts delivered counter. By simply connecting the on-body entered and on-body exited signals to the Santa sled script and linking it to a game manager script that managed the number of gifts I collected and delivered, and also add functions to add time to the player counter and handled animations for Santa on the sled, I was able to have that system set up in no time. This is a game changer for prototyping, as it streamlines the development process, as Signals facilitate smooth communication between different elements in the game. So there you have it, 4 compelling reasons why Godot is your ultimate game engine for fast and fun prototyping during game jams or whenever you have a great game idea that just can't wait. And it also causes me to lose a lot of sleep. If you've got great Godot stories to share or questions to ask, drop them in the comments below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to Dirago Games for more game development insights, and hit that notification bell if you want to visit me again. Happy jamming, and I'll catch you in the next one. You know what? I think I'm going to get some well-deserved shut-eye and dream about my next game dev adventure.